morning, dear hearts. We are now on lesson 259. Please subscribe. One more lesson and we start a new section, and a very relevant one as well. This is the third of our Let Me Remember lessons. And I'm going to be doing something that I do frequently, let's say, or from time to time. There is no time. And switch a word around here or there. It's if I think it's going to give us greater clarity and make all of this easier for us to understand, then that's what I want to do. We are still weaving that spiritual tapestry, and that spiritual tapestry is woven out of truth and out of clarity, and we come to knowledge. We can't get to a space of knowledge if we have doubt. So I want to make the lessons as clear as possible so there's no doubt. What did it really say? I want us all to realize exactly the message that the Holy Spirit and Jesus is giving us here. So let me remember there is no sin. We're in the section, what is sin? Sin is insanity. Sin is an illusion. Let's just change this. Let me remember there is no fear. Several times throughout the course, within the text and some of the lessons, we have the phrase, there is no fear. There is no fear. Let me remember, there is no fear. There is no sin. Sin is insanity. Fear is insanity. It is a break from truth. I didn't say separation, but it is. It's a break from our true self. It is, we have broken away from our whole mind, and we are in a fragmented state where we can be told almost anything and we believe it. That's how the ego is working through us, telling us all kinds of lies and showing us things that are not real, and yet we believe them because we are believing in sin. We are believing in separation. We are believing in illusions. Let me remember, there is no sin, there is no fear. Changing it. Fear is the only thought that makes the goal of God seem unattainable. What else could blind us to the obvious and make the strange and distorted seem more clear? What else but fear engenders our attacks? When we are afraid, we attack. Now we all have had a lesson that fear is not justified in any form. Attack is not justified in any form. There is nothing to fear, and there is nothing that we need to attack. It is never justified. There is never a good reason to attack. But what makes us think we should attack is that belief in the ego and the belief in fear. What else but sin, fear, engenders our attacks? What else but fear could be the source of guilt, demanding punishment and suffering? That's what fear does, because we feel so insecure. We are completely in the grips of doubt. Our thinking is muddled. We don't know. And so when we don't know, we listen to any voice. And what voice speaks first and speaks loudest? The ego voice. And the ego voice tells us, attack. They need to be punished. It also tells us that we suffer. And the truth is, when we attack, we do suffer. And what but fear or sin could be the source of fear? Okay? Obscuring God's creation, us giving love the attributes of fear and of attack. A few lessons back, I wrote and shared with you a prayer. I pledge allegiance to my one true self. When we are in the grips of the ego and believing in fear and believing in sin, we have pledged allegiance to the sin, to the ego. We have pledged allegiance to illusions, and will not let anything come to have us look at it in a way that would make sense, in a way that would make us question. The egos we have pledged allegiance to. And so when we pledge allegiance to the the ego is in charge, and we will be taken wherever the ego wants us to go. But let me remember, there is no sin, there is no fear, there are no illusions in truth, and there is no ego in truth. The second part of today's lesson is the prayer, and it starts with a wonderful line. Father, I would not be insane today. I would not be in that space of believing in fear, believing in illusions, believing in sin. I want to be free of the claws that the ego has wrapped around me and had me believe in everything that is not true. To the extent that what is true and what is real, I question that. So today I would not be insane, and instead I would look for what is true, what is offered to me, and that, and only that, will I accept. I would not be afraid of love, nor seek for refuge in its opposite, fear. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite, from the introduction to this wonderful course. So I would not seek for refuge in the opposite of love, because I'm seeking for refuge in an illusion, in smoke, mist, mirrors, dreams. There is nothing there for me. I cannot find refuge in an illusion. For love can have no opposite. You are the source of everything there is. Father, you are the source of everything there is. And everything that is remains with you, and you with it. There is no separation. We are one with our Father. He is our source. We are as He created us, and there is no opposite to that. Let me remember, there's no sin, there's no fear. There is nothing to come to hurt the holy child of God. And we can go way back to the first part of the first 50 lessons, and lesson 41 that said that God goes with me wherever I go. And the last line is so beautiful that you can afford to laugh at fear thoughts, knowing that God goes with you wherever you go. Let me remember there is no sin. Let me remember there is no fear. Let me remember there are no illusions. There is only truth. There is God. There is the sonship. There is everlasting peace and love. And that is what I will remember today. And as I remember that, I will indeed remember that there is no sin, because there is nothing that is opposite to what I have been given by the grace of God. That's it for today. I hope it helped. I hope it made sense. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and please be here tomorrow as we complete this section with a lesson that will sound very familiar. Namaste.